afternoon, family, and welcome to Sweeney's Creek Farm. The video you're about to see, I actually recorded quite a few weeks ago, and I completely forgot to do an intro, so I've just come back and I've tried to put it together, and half of it's missing, and there's Mr. Rooster. And you'll see in the next video that it's a really beautiful day, and now it's a little bit overcast, so it's taken a bit of a turn in spring. But what I'm doing is we've purchased some compost here, some organic compost. Now, we don't like doing this because a couple of years ago we bought some in and on our other property, and it was contaminated and it killed everything. So this is certified organic. And so far, so good. We planted some peas and it hasn't died, so that's a good indicator that it's not too bad. So we're topping up these garden beds to get our summer crop in. We do have a few spring vegetables in, and I actually just harvested some before. You'll see that in the upcoming video. I'm just going to give you a bit of a tour of what we've planted. And the fruit trees are doing well, and so far everything is going okay, although the seedlings not so great. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and if you'd like to see something else, just drop a comment below. Little tip when you're actually shoveling: face the wheelbarrow the way you want to go. As I mentioned, this is only just a top dress because we had new soil in here and it's settled just slightly. It was still really good soil, but we just needed to give it a bit of a boost. So I've just done that, and I'll put the sprinkler system back on. I gave it a really good soak yesterday before I did this, so I could actually wet the soil underneath. I've been keeping this soil not wet but moist since the hot weather started. We had a bit of rain during winter, so I didn't have to do it then. I have kept it moist because I didn't want it to become hydrophobic, and I still wanted to feed all the worms that have been in here that I've built up, so I didn't let this dry out, and so I gave it a really good soak, giving it a top dress. Now I'll get some mulch and put that on here and move on to the next ones, and then I might give you a little bit of a tour and show you what is growing. This top dressing will give whatever seeds I plant directly into here a really good start. I've got a whole heap of seedlings, so I've got to figure out where everything's going to go. But I'll just put some mulch on this one, move on. It's very compacted, this, which is great because it goes a long way, but it's hard to get out. And there you go. That's one bed done. I've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this area to do, and a few other ones, and also our high tunnels. But before I do all that and get really, really hot and sweaty, I'll show you what we've actually got growing. I am going to mulch these garden beds. You can see in the background I have 2 beds of garlic. That garlic there is actually the garlic that I harvested from our high tunnel that I planted way, way, way too late. So I didn't eat it, and I thought I would see what it would grow like. So as you can see, we've had a really good success rate with those ones. So they were our last year's crop, so they're used to our site, so they're doing really, really well. And in this bed and this bed we have some onions. This one here I actually grew from seed, so I'm doing a bit of an experiment. This one, I know what they are. These ones self-seeded throughout the garden, so I don't know what they are. I don't know what variety. I don't know whether they're brown, white, red onions, or whether they're actually a spring onion or chive. So we'll see when they come up. I had a garden bed free and they were everywhere, so I know what they are. No idea what these are. So we'll go over and have a look what's growing in these raised garden beds over here as well. This little garden bed, I had some leeks. And I grew these from seeds, and I didn't think they'd do any good because they just looked like they struggled. So I just threw them in the ground here, and they're doing okay, but they do need a mulch. And we'll see how they go, but they have been struggling because I've kind of ignored them really, so it's my own fault. We'll go down to the next ones. In these 3 garden beds here, I've got some cabbage, broccoli, and some cauliflower. They're doing okay. These ones I had mulched, so but I did notice there's a couple of white cabbage moth flying around, so I think it's actually time that I put nets over these ones just to discourage them. But before I do that, I always have a quick look to see whether there's any grubs underneath the leaves, because if I put nets on, all I'm really doing is trapping the cabbage moth inside with the plants. So I've got 3 beds here, and there is one free here as well. I have to top dress, so these are doing fairly well. So I'm happy with these. And I grew these from seedlings as well. I'm trying really hard this season to grow all my own seedlings, but there have been 1 or 2 that haven't done well. I've just bought a seedling for a Brussels sprout because no matter what I do, I just seem to kill the seedlings, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but they don't like me. You may see this here. This is an electrical cable that I put up here so I don't run it over. It's feeding something up the back there that we've been filming, but we'll show you that on another video. That was a rather large project, and I haven't edited the video. So you can see here, we showed this in a previous video, we've done our beds. I gave them a deep water yesterday, and I still have to weed this one over here. This one just constantly has weeds, but these garden beds we put the paths in have been absolutely amazing. There's been hardly any weeds. There's a few over on that side, but I don't know, this side just loves weeds, so we'll go on to the next high tunnel. This high tunnel will be used for our tomatoes again, but I have replaced some of the soil and will top dress as well. Next to the disaster. So this is not really a disaster, but it's where I've put all the pot plants and everything, and I haven't weeded any of this. So you know that we've actually been, we've lost some of our fruit trees. So they're sitting over here waiting to go in the raised beds that we did in a previous video. We're still making quite a few of them, so that's why these are here. Some of them are in pots and some of them are still in this soil. So I've got to get in here and weed. Also, my sister had a few fruit trees that got a bit baked. We didn't think they'd survive, so I've been giving them a little bit of TLC and they've come back really well. But yeah, we've got a lot here that needs to go in the ground so I can then use these beds. And I'm thinking of actually using this as our chili garden with our habaneros and everything like that. There's a few onions that have self-seeded, but I'll get rid of those because I think we've got enough up there. So what I might do is just show you the other project that I've got going on out the back. It's a new garden bed. So this is going to be a new plot. It's not going to have raised beds. Well, they're going to be slightly raised, but we're not going to box out the edges. So yesterday I got on the tractor and I used the box bladder and I lowered the tines right down so I could just rip up the ground a little bit, just to make it a bit easier on myself. So I ripped up, and you can see up here as well, I've done it up there. And then I got on our little rotary hoe, and I mean little, it's only about that wide, and I went across all this and then went down, and that took me hours just to break up the soil. So what we'll do is we'll put in quite a few rows, and we're going to be using this for our pumpkin and squash just so it can sprawl out. As you can see, I'm watering this, just trying to get the water down into the ground before I put some more soil on it. I didn't want to put the soil on top of it and then have the ground underneath it be rock hard, because that'd be just a waste of time and effort. So I've got to do this area up here. I'm going to wait until it's a bit cooler. It's in the middle of the day right now, and I'm hoping to get that done so we can plant some corn up there and see how it goes in the ground. I did plant corn last year in raised garden beds. We didn't have enough water and they did very, very poorly. So we'll see how this goes, but yeah, just giving that a really good soak. This is water from our bore. It's really, really good. We would prefer to get our D-cell plant up and running, but that all costs money. But currently, the water is really, really good. You can drink it, and I wouldn't do it all the time though. So it's not like clear tank water, but at least we're not using our tank water because it hasn't rained here for, it just feels like forever. So yeah. And I'll show you something else that I planted way too late but seemed to be doing okay. So in these two garden beds, I had some tulips. Our local council has a tulip display every year, and at the end of that display, the public come in and you pay $5 for a big bag, and you dig up the tulips for them. It's a great way for them not to have to do it. But yeah, you get to dig them up, and I've planted these really late, and the reason for that is I actually winterize them in the fridge, which you can do for about 6 weeks before you plant them. And then I forgot they were there. I went to grab something from the fridge, and this fridge is actually out in our garage, so it's not one that I go into all the time. And I went to grab something and I thought, oh, my tulips. But I planted them, and they're coming up and they've got little flowers on them, so that's really great. I do have to mulch this, but I also noticed this is where we had our potatoes last year, and there's a few potatoes growing up, but I don't really mind. I'll let the tulips grow, give them a bit of a water, and put some mulch on them. But they're doing okay, but hopefully next year they'll do okay in a different spot. So after these are finished, I'll dig them up and I will save the bulbs and put them in a different location. Hopefully next year when they're ready to go in, I'll be a little bit more organised and also have a garden bed for them specifically so they can go into that. I'm over in the orchard and you may remember us putting in this quince tree. We've since been putting in quite a few other of our trees and relocating them. So we've got another quince tree here. We've got apples and over here we've got our cherries in as well. We've got a few pears at the end. And also what we did is my dad had some strawberry runners and they were taking over his garden. So he dug them up and he separated. I won't show you how we did that. Brian over at Next Level Gardening did a recent video on how to harvest your strawberry runners and I'll link that to here. That's a great video to show you how to do that. But yeah, we planted about 15 or so in each garden. I still don't have the sprinkler system embedded in the ground. So for now, I've just put it along the top so I can make sure that they get a water. I've got a whole heap of pea straw over here that I'm just about to put on these garden beds as well, just to give them a little bit of protection. But the strawberries are doing really, really well. A few of them have actually started to fruit, so I'm really pleased with that. And apparently Dad's got more, so yeah. You may be wondering where Stephen is. He's making some more of these for me. We've got 4 to go in this row and another 8 to go in the other row. We do have 4 rows in this orchard, but the end row is going to be for raspberries and berries and everything, so I don't have to be quite as big as this, although that would be lovely. So but we're running out of recycled tin. We're doing a bit of a project down the back. We have a really old shed that is coming down soon, so we'll be able to use that as well, but for now they're in pots and they're doing okay. Better get back to top dressing these garden beds. And yeah, I'll see you when I'm hot and sweaty on the other side. It's been about a week since I filmed, and as you can see, we got all the beds done. It was great timing actually, because a couple of days ago we had over 40 mils of rain in a day, so that has actually watered all the garden beds. As you can see in the background, I've actually covered the brassicas, so I've covered the cabbage and cauliflower. I planted 1 Brussels sprout that I saved from the bin at one of the local nurseries. And I've also planted a few seeds in here as well. Some corn, I got that in, some peas and also some squash. And I haven't yet prepared the rest of the beds for the pumpkin. I have got those seedlings going. My seedlings aren't doing too well. This weather is really, really weird at the moment. It's either really cold or it's really, really hot. So the seedlings get a really, really great start and then all of a sudden it's cold. So I've been moving them in and out of the garage to try and keep them alive, but I'm failing miserably actually, so we'll see how we go. Also planted a few other things over in these beds here, some carrots, some parsnip and some beetroot. We'll see how they come up because there was a lot of rain and carrot seeds are really, really tiny. So, but yeah, the garlic and the onion are doing well, so that's about it. We've been a little absent from YouTube, and that's because we've got some major projects happening here and I filmed a lot and I just haven't had time to sit down and edit. So hopefully this weekend I might get a chance to do that, and we'll be putting some videos together of a project over here and a major project over here that we haven't given an update on either. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that quick tour. Send me good luck and good vibes to get these seedlings going, because I have a lot of tomatoes that I really want to get planted. So fingers crossed it works out well. If you're not a subscriber, think of subscribing. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Drop a comment on what you're actually planting at the moment, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you on the next one.